Hello everyone, welcome back to ITA. Today we have an awesome video for you on making the most out of your college experience. I know this is relevant to many of you as you're starting to hear back from college admissions or have already heard back on your admissions decision, and many of you are starting to think a little bit more concretely about what entering your freshman year of college will look like, and also starting to think, what are some things that I can be thinking of now that will in turn help prepare me for kind of adjusting into that college student role. So today we're going to be talking about just that, and I really want to turn your attention to 4 main focus areas that we'll be talking about today. So the first one is academics. So obviously thinking about your course schedule, making sure that you are making good and timely progress on fulfilling the requirements for your college major. We're also going to be talking a little bit about leadership and what that looks like in college. And then obviously we'll be talking about social life in college. That's a big one for many people as they prepare to enter this new stage in their young adulthood and starting to make some long-lasting friendships in college. And we'll also start talking a little bit about what preparing for life after college will look like too. Because college is a really big stepping stone opportunity for you to start thinking more about what the real world looks like for you and what kind of life you want for yourself after college. Okay, so for academics, obviously this is important in college. And we're not just talking about getting good grades and making sure that you're turning in your assignments. In college, it's especially important to get to know your professors. This is true for a lot of larger universities like the University of Wisconsin-Madison, for example. There are usually classes that you're going to have to take that have really big class sizes and really big lectures from like 2 to maybe even 400 students. So there will actually be many times where you don't actually have one-on-one conversations with your professor unless you actually seek that relationship out and you go to their office hours or send them an email. But getting to know your professors is important because these will be the people that you work with, that you take on projects with, that you complete their coursework and go on to take maybe even more courses with them. And ultimately, these will also be the people who can go back to bat for you in job interviews, asking for letters of reference or letters of recommendation and asking for references rather from people who know you. And oftentimes, those people are your professors. There are also a lot of students who end up getting job opportunities with their professors, whether it's a writing or a research opportunity. I've known a lot of people who take a really interesting class with a fascinating professor and they reach out to them to learn more about their research, and sometimes they ask them if there are any opportunities for student employment, and you'd be surprised by how willing and excited professors are to talk to students about their research and have them actually get involved with that. So that's a wonderful opportunity, and you should definitely get to know your professors, especially the ones who make a really big impact on you. Another thing I want to mention is that it's important to find your own study space. Not everyone studies the best in their college dorm or their apartment. Sometimes you need a really quiet library with an open space that's really encouraging for you to study. You can also go to other places on campus. There are a bunch of coffee shops. You can go to student unions, and you can go to, I think it's called ASM, Associated Students of Madison, and they have what's called the SAC, or the Student Activity Center, and it's actually a really big building where all of the student orgs are housed, and they have some really great study spots. You should also make sure to save your course materials. So this is especially true for the courses that are within your major. A lot of times these materials can serve as excellent resources and references for you as you move forward in your degree. And then lastly, make sure to take classes outside of your major. College is really a time for you to explore different subject areas and really find your passions. So even if you feel really secure in what you want to study and you have your set major, it's always a good idea to broaden your mindset and see what else is out there and get a little bit of experience in dabbling in different subject areas. UW-Madison and many other colleges have such a wide array of courses that you can take. Anything from dancing to art, to biotechnology, to computer science. Really, the sky is the limit, and I would really encourage you to take some other classes that are outside of your major because you'd be surprised with what's really out there. Next, we're going to be talking about leadership. I would say that it can be really overwhelming, especially your freshman year. You go to like student organization fairs and you see just like really how many student clubs and different areas of involvement that you can participate in, and it's just like overwhelming. I would really encourage you to establish yourself in a few areas that you really care about. And secure a leadership position within those involvements instead of trying to branch out way too much and just take on more than you can reasonably bear. In college, there are a bunch of opportunities for you to get involved. You can go to seminars and conferences. Usually these will be within your major or department. But those are really cool because you can usually get to see really cool speakers that will come and talk, and you can ask them questions about their research, about their recent book. There are so many student organizations, you'd be surprised with just how much is out there. But if you're really passionate about something, chances are there are many other students who share that same interest, and there will likely be a bunch of student organizations that you'll want to try out. There's also sports opportunities, so if that's your jam, you can probably find a sports team that meets pretty often for you to play with and really get to know some of those teammates. And in terms of finding a leadership position within some of these areas, some examples are becoming a housing RA. So what that means is becoming like a dorm counselor, someone who is in charge of one floor of a dorm, and they make sure that students are behaving well, and they also organize really cool activities for first-year students who are living in the dorms. You could also become an admissions tour guide, so showing new folks and prospective students around campus. That's a really great way to get involved. Or if you're really good in a subject area, you could even offer to tutor some of your classmates. And your social life. In college, it's a really great opportunity for you to make connections with other people who share similar interests. And I always encourage students to go out and network. That might seem a little bit scary at first, but the more events that you go to, the easier it is to meet people and make friends and drag some of your friends along with you to some events and see who else is out there and what other friends you can make. It's also important to connect with friends during school breaks, so summer break or winter break are really good opportunities to catch up with people, and it makes it that much more of a smoother transition when you have to go back to school. You already have friends that are well established with you, and you can create study groups and participate in study groups in classes that you have together. You can also join committees and be part of the decision-making process in your dorm or within your major and your department. Really, the main thing here is to not be afraid to reach out because, you know, when you're going to be a freshman, your whole class is in the same boat of trying to reach out to folks and make friends. So chances are people are going to be really open to hanging out with you and going to a social event with other folks as well. Just remember to keep an open mind and don't be afraid to reach out, especially early on, because within the first few months or so is usually when people start to hang out and form friendships. So you don't want to miss out on that. You don't want to be hiding in your dorm. Make sure that you're going out there and you're being your best self and you're being confident in who you are, and you will definitely make some friends. Alright, so preparing for life after college. There are a number of really great opportunities at UW-Madison and other colleges for you to take on really awesome experiences that will help you think more concretely about what you want to do after college. So, for example, there are many study abroad and student exchange opportunities where you can travel to new countries, you can take classes in other countries, and you can even pick up a new language. Along with that, you can also participate in research, and there are a number of campus opportunities for internships and business partners who are partnered with UW-Madison and other colleges where they're looking specifically for students to have internships. And just because you're not an alumni yet doesn't mean you can't start making connections with people who are alumni. For UW-Madison and for a number of schools, there's this app called Handshake. And on Handshake, you can see the profiles of so many different alumni, and you can see what job positions they currently have, and you can also see what they majored in during their time in college. So this is a really great way to start reaching out to folks and also finding a mentor, someone who can offer you really great insight about their time in college. They might be able to connect you with different resources and opportunities. So that's also a really great way to get connected with folks and start thinking a little bit more about what you want your life to be after college. And so that is the foundations for making sure that your experience in college is the best it can possibly be and that you're making the most of it.